Hello. All right, so this is your boy Tim with Services and Solutions LLC. You can see it on the shirt. I haven't dropped a video in a while. At least I haven't been really making videos like that. But situation happened yesterday, and it reminded me how I need to stop depending on people. Stop depending on people to do things that I can do for myself. And that's why I made this video. We need to stop depending on people to do things that we can do ourselves. For as long as I can remember, I have been out here just as a kid, I've been doing what I can do on my own, so I don't have to depend on people financially. You know what I mean? When I was, when I got my clippers as a teenager, I was lining myself up. I'm doing my own mustache and beard as a teenager. You know what I mean? Selling candy door to door as like a 10, 11-year-old back in the 90s. You know what I mean? So that I wouldn't have to depend on my parents for money and to buy the things that I wanted to buy. You know what I mean? And something happened yesterday, and I just got so frustrated with this person in particular. And this morning while I'm riding, still frustrated, I'm like, you know what? Why am I even mad at them? Because I can do that myself. You know what I mean? I can do this myself. In fact, this particular person showed me how to do it myself, but it's just not something that I'm really interested in doing. So I've been every now and then asking this person to do this for me, and because they're good at it. And I even offered to pay this person, told them to send me an invoice. You know what I mean? Because it's a business expense. But I couldn't do it myself, and I'm not even mad anymore. I'm gonna do it myself. But the reason I made this video, dang, this dude loaded me up really quickly. He's almost done. All right, so I gotta be quick. We have to stop depending on people to do things that we can do ourselves, period. If you're at a job, let's say you're a truck driver like me, and you're at a company that doesn't appreciate you, that is, telling you stupid things to do or stupid places to go, that's dangerous or that's frustrating to you, and you're pretty much, you need that job and you're stuck there. But guess what? You have a skill. You could be working at a restaurant and you've been there 20 years or whatever, and you worked every position in that restaurant. Guess what? You have a skill. You have knowledge. You know what I mean? You can do it yourself. Whatever industry you work in, and since this is a trucking channel, if you're a truck driver and you want to have your own truck, what's stopping you? You know what I mean? We all have to get ourselves to the point that where we got that FU money. You know what I mean? And if you don't know what FU money means, I'm paraphrasing for the curse word, FU money, where you could just say, FU, I'm gone. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have that type of money, I can't do this. Those are excuses. If you want something bad enough, if you are tired of depending on people to do things for you, you will find a way. You know what I mean? And that's part of the reason why I jumped out here to do this, to buy my own truck and to eventually get my own authority. I have my own authority, but I did all of that because I got tired of depending on people, you know what I mean, to do things for me that I could do myself. And it's just you could sit and complain and cry and moan about, I'm tired of this dispatcher sending me to this place. I told him that place is tight and I can't get in there with a 53, or I'm tired of having to do this particular location because I gotta down stack all of the pallets and I'm there all day, and you know, they won't pay me an extra for it, or I'm tired of working at this company, I've been here 20 years and we still haven't got a raise, or, you know, they don't give us bonuses. The least they can do is buy us lunch on the holidays, you know what I mean? Those are all things that you can change, but it got to come from here. You got to have heart. You can't be afraid. You have the knowledge, you have the skills, but guess what else you got to use? You got to use your mouth. You got to talk to people who are out there doing what it is that you want to do, who are where you want to be. You got to do these things, you know what I mean, so that you won't have to depend on folks. Even the people that you're depending on, guess what? You can ask them. You know what I mean? If they don't want to tell you, that's on them. But it's a shame that you don't ask. There's no shame in asking the question, but there is shame in not asking the question. You know what I mean? So you got to do everything that you can do to stop depending on people, man. And this message is just for somebody need to hear this. You know what I mean? I was reminded this morning that you know, this thing that I'm pissed off about, I can do it myself. And guess what? I'm not gonna depend on that person no more to do this particular thing for me. I'm gonna do it myself. I might even start doing it for other people for a fee. You know what I mean? Because there's so many opportunities out here, so many ways to make money. And I'm not saying that I'm driven by money, but I am inspired every time that I'm able to use my own strength, my own ability, my own intelligence to profit. You know what I mean? To make an income to provide for my family. That makes me feel great. So all in all, what I'm trying to tell you guys is, you know, just do it. You know what I mean? Stop complaining. Get out there and do whatever it is that you are dependent on other people to do for you. And once you learn that skill or that thing, whatever it is that you were once dependent on people to do for you, it feels so good. It feels so good. You know what I mean? I hate asking people for help. I hate asking people for help. And that's probably shame on me. Alright, I gotta go. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I can hey, can I strap up right here? Alright. So I'm about to go ahead and strap my load down, but what I'm trying to tell people is stop depending on folks. I know it sounds repetitive, but ever since I was a kid, I was always working, you know, even as a teenager. My first car, I worked to get my first car with the help of my dad, you know, but I worked to get it, and he put me on his insurance. And when he you know, somebody hit me, it wasn't even my fault. Like my first month or so, somebody hit the car, and they basically totaled my car. And I called the insurance company, but guess what? I wasn't on my dad's insurance, so I had no business calling the insurance company. He got so pissed off, he was like, you know what? Get your own insurance. You know, I'm like 17 at the time. I'm like, okay, I get my own insurance. So I would see them commercials on TV where, like, you know, you call the general or whatever. And I called and talked to so many insurance brokers, but I found one insurance company that I can afford. And guess what? I started, I worked a little part-time job at Publix, and I, you know, was selling candy at school, you know, and I was able to pay my own insurance, car insurance, while I was in high school. You know what I mean? And when I graduated high school, thank God for my dad, you know, I told him I didn't want a fancy graduation gift. I told him that I wanted the deposit for an apartment. I went out and looked for an apartment. I found I had a good job at that time. I had a full-time job, like right out of high school. We're talking a month out of high school. I found a full-time job as a forklift operator at Old Dominion Freight, and I was making like maybe $600 a week or so. I found a cheap apartment, and within a month and a half of graduating high school, my dad gave me about $500-600 as a deposit for this apartment, and I got me an apartment as an 18-year-old and didn't have to depend on him ever since. Now, he has helped out, you know what I mean? I've had to borrow money from my dad, you know, and I paid him back, or, you know, he's given me, you know, helped me get over the hump, but I've never had to move back in with my parents. Now I'm 32 years old, and I've never really had to depend on nobody to do for me. I thank God that I'm healthy. And every night I pray and thank God for the health of myself and my kids and my family. And at the end of the day, if we are healthy, and I'm gonna end the video with this, if you have good health and you have strength, you don't have to depend on nobody else. And you got a sound mind, you don't have to depend on nobody to do anything for you. You can learn it, and you can master it, and you can do it yourself. Have a great day.